Holy Intamin, we are live. Welcome to the Chain Dogs podcast, where we talk about everything theme parks, roller coasters, amusement parks all around the world. Thank you for joining us. I'm joined here tonight with James, as usual, and our special guest, Emma from Top 4 Tourists. Hey, how you doing, Emma? You all right?
Yeah, not so bad, you.
All right, all good, all good. We're going to talk about your recent trip in a bit, the good bits about it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you doing, James? You good?
I am good. I'm good.
You're good, good, good. Let's see who's in the chat. Right, we got PP Boy P. Yeah, a new podcast. Oh yes, Planet Pip Cam. We got Dan. We got Mark. We got Jesse. We got Carl. The other Top 4 tourist. He's not invited at the minute. Matt. Thing is, I didn't want to invite Carl on because all he would talk about is US, and I was like, I'm just not in that mindset tonight, mate.
It'll take him 5 hours to get through his story, so you know.
True. Yeah, that'll have to be like a 4-hour podcast episode. We got Vix. We got Parks and Pints. How we doing? Yeah, hope you're all good. Thank you for joining us. Like I say, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So first of all, I did SIK yesterday.
Was it sick?
It was pretty sick. It was good. it was good. I'll just like kind of summarize kind of what I said on Twitter in case you're not following me on Twitter or whatever. Which should follow me on Twitter. What you doing? But yeah, it's a good coaster. It's very intense at the front, which really surprised me because we did a back row to begin with, and I was pretty like underwhelmed by it. I was like, it's pretty good, but everyone's like saying it's their number one, and which I won't criticize because everyone's got their own preferences and stuff like that. But I was kind of like, what's everyone talking about? But yeah, when we did it on the front, that like blew me away. It was very, very forceful. It took us about this is a mad thing, right? We was in the queue and we were on the next train to get batched into the air gates, and then this mum like went absolutely mental at the ride host because the kid was too small. And then instead of so the train had been emptied and it was just waiting there for us to go on it, and then they were just like, we was all waiting there, and then this mum was just like having a right go, and then everyone was like, can we get on the train? And then the ride host was like, can you just let everyone else on the train? She was like, no one's going on. No, unless you let my son on, no one is going on. And we was like, oh my God. We was there for 15 minutes. They had to call a manager. The manager had to come out. And then he measured him. And then suddenly this kid had grown like 2 inches. I don't know how the hell he did it. And then like they just let him on anyway. Which
I'd have moved to myself. I'd be like, back off, woman. I'm getting on this coaster. Move yourself.
People were kicking off, man. Like it was getting crazy. Like people were like swearing and telling the woman to like F off and stuff. And it was like, welcome to Flamingo Land. Wow.
Where you experience wild Karens.
It was just, I've never seen anything like it. But you just don't, why didn't they just move her to the side? And I don't know, it was weird. But yeah, we got on it. But it was, I said it is rattly, man. Like it's rattly. It runs like a 3-year-old Intamin. You know, like if you're on like the back of like Red Force, if you've done Red Force, it rattles like a lot, and it's a lot, especially on the back. So I was like, what the hell? Everyone's like saying it's super smooth, like silky smooth. Like that wasn't our experience. So yeah, that's just and I was saying, I was like, this must have happened over the last couple of days because you can't ignore, like, there's no way of ignoring that. Because no one was like, it has got a bit of a rattle, but you know, this was insane. And it sounded like creaky as hell. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know. Everyone was saying, oh, it's 10 years old. I'm like, yeah, but it's not been operating. So it just surprised me a little bit. I was like, that is not going to age well. Guarantee now. It's not it's not going to age well at all. But yeah, like I say, front row is really good. The mist in the tunnels is like the most amount of mist I've ever seen on a coaster.
Yeah, it does look from the videos I've seen. It looks mental.
It looks slightly unnecessary amount of mist.
Yeah.
Like,
It is
can't have too
unnecessary.
much mist.
Like if you're on the front row, you come out soaked. Like you literally come out.
Can you actually
dripping.
like breathe while you're going through that?
No, it's like a blackout tunnel. You hit it and you can't see anything for ages, and then you regain vision. But on the front row, especially on the front left, right, when you come out of the second tunnel, out of the Cobra roll, and then you go into the double corkscrew on the last corkscrew, like the way that whips you out, it feels like an RMC. Like it's insane. Like I've not felt like anything like that on a UK coaster. Like, you know, where your head's like still in the position, but your body's all the way down, a bit what like Taron does. That was insane, but not much airtime apart from that, which surprised me because I normally get quite a bit of airtime on Colossus. You know, over the little airtime hill into the Cobra Roll. So that surprised me a little bit.
I thought you would have had more because it looks like it runs a lot quicker than Colossus does.
Yeah, it does. It's insane. It's how quick it is. Like blew me away.
Did they pin you in on it?
Yeah, I got pinned in quite a lot. I got proper stapled. Like it's like anything. It depends who you have, but I think I got one middle ride where I wasn't stapled in. I had a bit of room, which is good. But yeah, they just like proper push it down on it, which just pisses me off. But yeah, the station looks way better in person than it does on pictures, like because they're pumping music through it and stuff. It is good for Flamingo Land as well. In context of that park, what?
Did you get your hair cut?
No, you weren't there. He wasn't there.
Devastated.
Wait, was that like a opening day thing then?
It can't be because like it's there.
I thought it was in the queue, wasn't it?
It is. Well, it's in the actual. It's in the shop. It's in like the gift shop.
Oh, okay.
So you enter through the gift shop, and you enter out of the gift shop as well. So it's really weird to walk into a gift shop to get into.
Yeah, that's weird.
Hey, really if I'd have gone there and did get a haircut, I'd have been straight to guest services and been like, "This is the reason I was here. I wanted a haircut. Sort it out."
Yeah.
Imagine going to Flamingo Land just to get your haircut.
Yeah. People were having the haircut though. Did you see like all the photos of people?
I only saw it empty. Yeah. I didn't see any photos of people in it.
Joe asked the woman at the till. She was like, how does the barber thing work?" And she turned around and said, "Oh well, he's got like a shop down the road and stuff. So like," and we was like, "What? So you have to like pre-book a haircut in?" And she was like, "No, he does drop in, but it's just random." And I said that though to Joe when we first saw the picture. I was thinking like, how does that work? Because Flamingo Land haven't employed a barber to be in there. The guy is probably just renting a seat off him, which is how a lot of barbers and hairdressers work, is they just rent a seat. And I was like, there's just not going to be enough people who want the haircut at Flamingo Land to even justify it. So I was like, what's he going to do? Just work Saturdays and hopefully people come in. It's just...
I like Matt's comment.
What's that?
At least the tunnel's wet your hair ready.
Yeah, cut and dry. Yeah, wash and cut, whatever it's called. But like, what was really weird was that thing is meant to be a like clothes shop. That's the way it's stylized and stuff. It's like got all the SIK silk merch in it, but there's not like a changing rooms in there. So they've got a barber's, but they haven't thought, oh, maybe we'll just put like a little changing room in there. Like we just thought that was very odd, because if you go to a lot of European parks, they have changing rooms in all their big merch shops. So I was like, a missed opportunity there, really, if you're trying to flog all your SIK silk stuff.
Someone just needs to start like whipping their clothes off in the middle of the shop. I'm sure they'll soon. If Carl's there, just like they'll be like, quick, changing room, quick.
They'll probably convert the barbers into a changing room.
Probably.
And just like put curtains up around it so you can't look in.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it was good. There's also like people were talking about it today, right? Because we heard in the station, when it loads out the station, there is an almighty like clunk. I was meant to put a POV up, but I'll tell you what, I'll share Matt's town picks, his POV, because you can hear it really, really well in there. But yeah, take a listen to this. I can share it if it will work, because it never works, does it? Actually, no, sorry. Try that one again. But me and Joe, when we heard this the first time, we just looked at each other and was like, what the hell was that? We thought the ride just broke, but it just does it every single time.
Here we go.
Ooh.
You hear that?
I don't think it's meant to make that noise.
Doesn't sound very healthy, does it?
No, it was every single time it was doing this almighty crack, and it was just. And at one point, it got stuck, like where it about cracked. It got stuck there, and then they just like went up there. Looked like they're just messing with some restraints, and then it just started back up again. It was really odd. But yeah, basically what people are saying is, obviously this isn't official, but this is what the rumor is that it's basically like a broken like lift mechanism, and it's basically the more it gets run, apparently the more it breaks. So it's been down all day today, which we're so lucky because we went yesterday. If I'd got all the way to Flamingo Land and that ride wasn't open, I would have gone full Karen mode. Like I would have like stormed in that guest services. But yeah, I think it opened about 4:15. The park shuts at like 5. So
Wow.
So they managed to get it open. But that is what people are saying, and apparently also people are saying as well. Again, this is all reported. This isn't like official stuff, but people are reporting that Intamin won't look at it because it's classified as a stolen coaster.
I saw this. I was like,
wait, what?
So the what people are saying is that the original, the park it was destined for, Hopi Hari, never paid for the coaster. It was never paid off. They then sold it to movie animation park studios, so they paid for it, and then Flamingo Land have bought it off movie animation park studios, but because it's never been paid for to Intamin class it as a stolen coaster, so they won't touch it. Like they won't come and fix it because they're like, it's stolen goods. And I'm like, if this is true, that is the most hilarious shit. Like Flamingo Land have bought this in the black market or something. Like, it's so.
See, now I've just got in my head that you wouldn't steal a house, you wouldn't steal a ghost.
You wouldn't steal a coaster. But like we could get proven wrong, and that is not even true. But I mean, a lot of people are saying it. Like, who's gonna just bring that out of like thin air? But yeah, it seems mental if that's the case, because that is like, even if they've had a really good deal on it, is it really worth it if it ends up breaking?
They can't get fixed. Yeah,
that's an expensive mess.
Can't pay will take it away.
Yeah.
Imagine
if there's like an actual episode on it. Like so yeah, Dan's saying, why is SIK just the most cursed coaster in existence? I know, man. I was like, oh, it's open, it's running, it's not cursed after all. Maybe this is just the start. You don't know. But yeah, it is truly cursed. But like I say, the positives from it is a good ride. It is definitely worth going to Flamingo Land for it.
Before it breaks and they can't repair it.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. If I were you, I'd get there fast, and try and get on it. But just in case. But yeah, it's good, and the whole area that they've done around it with the fountains and the mist does look really good off ride and stuff. Like it looks like nothing Flamingo Land have ever done before. It's just like, it just looks nice that it's all clean and fresh. My only issue is in the station, it's like all vinyl, you know, like you've seen that the Union Jacks on all over the walls and stuff, the vinyl. That's like so close to the queue that it's already starting to like rub off at the bottom. and I think it's going to end up, you know, when vinyl goes like white because it's been rubbed and picked and stuff. I feel like that's gonna happen to it. I just don't know why parks in this country don't learn to like put like not walls against like, you know, queues and that. So but yeah, that was about it really. It's really cool to see that Flamingo Land have got this because it's something they need, but it just makes the rest of the park look a bit tired, to be honest. So yeah,
I've never been, so
it's
I've only ever seen what's on vlogs, and it looks like a weird place anyway. So I don't know. It's one of them that you see things on vlogs, and then when you go, sometimes it looks better than it does on video. So
yeah, me and Joe went for the first time in 2020, and that was also our last visit. And we went on a pretty quiet day, and it just so happened it was like quite a hot day as well. And we had an amazing time. Like we loved it. I can imagine it being hell when it was busy because it was a lot of school kids there yesterday, and everything was like really, really busy. Like,
don't they open and close rides at different times with staffing as well? So
they did that when we went in 2020. They did that. They opened like Hero like halfway through the day. They were just like it doesn't open till 12. But yesterday when we went, it was nothing like that. Not that I saw anyway. I didn't see any of that. But it's just it's a good park. Like they've got a lot of stuff. Like apart from the like Kamali's good. It's the best SLC I've ever done. It's got a completely different layout to obviously like all the others because it's a custom layout. It's super tall. That's got quite a nice theme to it. It's super intense. Mumbo Jumbo, just never done an hour loco before. They're like just wacky as hell. Really, really cool. Hero is Hero. It's just like you got to do it for the meme. It's just funny. And then what else have they got? Oh yeah, Velocity, really good like booster bikes. And then you've just got like a few like little kiddie creds. Their mine train is one of the most intense rides I've ever done. It's insane. There's no banking at all, and it just whips you around. It's a kid's ride. I can't believe it. It's so crazy. Yeah. So they've got some good stuff there, and obviously they've got the zoo as well. Like it's a full day out. Like there's a lot of stuff to do. If you've never been there before, it's well worth going.
Yeah.
Because they've got. I mean, it's got 10 creds there now. Is it?
Yeah.
So 10 creds there. You can't do the Go Gator because that's for kids only. Unfortunately.
Can I take my? You can take my kids on it though.
I don't know. You can't.
Well, they've got to go on their own.
They got to go on their own. It's honestly flipping.
The only reason I had kids is to get kid creds.
Yeah. Because we went there and was like, shall we just try and get on it? And then we went there and they were like, absolutely not. This thing. Wow. It's literally like we look at that kid and look how tight that is with her.
Yeah,
like, I wouldn't even be able to fit it.
I've done loads of go-gators before, so I can fold myself in. So
yeah, I think if I tried, I could get in it. I do think I'd be able to get in it, whether it would go around because it's got one of these weird like it's powered by this cable that follows it around, obviously. But it's just it's weird. It's weird. But yeah, really, really wanted to do that, but didn't get it. So it's kind of forbidden cred.
Can I just say, like, I'm moving around on my sofa. I'm not farting. Like, it makes farting.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, well, did you watch that last night? Emma just farted all the way through. I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but I just thought, long travel day. So. Odyssey is the best SLC. I don't think it is, personally. It's been a long time since I've done it, but I don't think Odyssey is the best. Yeah, it's a bit like the one at Oakwood is actually a lot bigger. This is when you see it in person, it's the size of a shoebox. It's insanely small. Yeah, so let's check it up on the comments. I'm not saying that. Flamingo Land is a fun park. Awful ops, often bad behaviour, but I guess lots of litter, awful food, but the flamingos are adorable. It's worth a trip, Emma. Yeah, really selling it there, mate. Really selling it there, Mark. No, it's I'd say, some of the guests there are crazy. Bit like Jeremy Kyle. It literally is like it's mental. And yeah, it's just the rest of the park, like Mark said, there's a lot of litter. We actually had pretty decent food. We went to the diner. They have like an American diner thing there, and we had some just like cheesy chips. You can't go wrong with cheesy chips, really, can you? So what's Joe saying? No, Mark did.
He sent another one where it's Mingo Land instead.
Right. Okay, Mingo Land. Okay.
Whatever. It was the first one.
Yeah, when you delete it on YouTube, it doesn't get deleted on our end.
No, it doesn't.
We saw.
Yeah. Dan saying Hero feels illegal, so they thought they'd one up themselves and get an actual illegal coaster. Oh, there we go.
I think Hobby Harry did actually pay for the rides. They just couldn't afford to actually build it once they got it.
Right.
So
they're saying that they didn't. Well, a lot of people saying it never got paid for. So I'll have to see. Hi, Finn.
He wanted to make an appearance.
Don't apologise, Mark. we get what you meant. We get what you meant, mate. Okay. So yeah, has anyone in the chat been? I want to see been on it. The thing is, it's just such an awkward park to get to.
Yeah.
For us, it's all right because it's like 2.5 hours. It's not too bad, but like
I'm not driving 5 hours.
Yeah, if you live like south, it's like literally trying to get to Oakwood. It's just so out of the way of everything as well, you know.
Yeah.
Flamingo Land is getting sued by Intamin. I don't think they are. But anyway, yeah, so that's that. So next up, let's talk about Aquaman Power Wave. So this water coaster, which is a Mack Power Splash, are they called? Power Splash. This basically was built years ago. It was announced in 2019. It was due to be open in 2020, but obviously because of like coronavirus and stuff, they had to like put it on hold. But they've just been like, they've not done themselves any favors because they planned to open it in 2021. That passed. Then they said it's going to be spring 2022. That's now, that's gone. So now they're saying it today, literally like an hour ago, they said it's going to be open spring 2023. So some people have like been just so like giving Six Flags Over Texas, where this is going. They've just been giving them a lot of stick on social media because it's literally taken longer than Iron Gwazi to build and then open. And Iron Gwazi, everyone was going mental over Iron Gwazi, how long it was taking. Yeah. And this is like, it's pretty mental. Obviously, it's going to be good. Obviously, if you didn't know what that is, it's if you've seen Pulsar at Walibi Belgium, which is really, really good. It's going to be that basically. But yeah, it's just taken a long time.
I feel like it's going to miss its next opening date as well.
It feels like it.
It's missed so many now. It's like, is it just ever going to open?
Yeah. It's a shame, really, because it should be a positive thing, but people just don't believe them now. They're just like, "Well, you said that last time. It's still not opening." But
yeah, controversy aside, they're really good rides. Like we did that one together, aren't we, Sean? So we know what it's like. They are really good.
So fun. There needs to be more of them. Like I'm surprised there's like not as many of them as I thought there would be. Really, I think this will be the 4th one. But yeah, hopefully that opens up soon. But we'll see.
Probably not.
Probably not. So Parks and Pints said we were definitely very pleasantly surprised. The whole thing seemed like a big meme, but it was actually a decent day. Yeah, that's it. I mean, like things can be a meme and still be good. Do you know what I mean? Like Gangster Granny was a massive meme, and I actually really liked Gangster Granny.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. So it's one of them really where what else was it? Like Croc Drop was a massive meme because like everyone was like, why the hell are you calling it Croc Drop? Just remind you of the like Crocs as in the shoes, and everyone was like saying on the opening day we'll all turn up in Crocs, and but but in the end, everyone like really enjoyed it. So it was good, and I'm happy for Flamingo Land if it carries on operating. Think we should go there camping there for the lols. Yeah, I want to do this weekend at Oakwood, man. The camping weekend. I think there's 2, isn't there, that's going on at the minute with European Coaster Club and Roller Coaster Club of Great Britain. Because I used to see that on vlogs like years ago. Like everyone would used to go and camp at Oakwood and then have that weekend.
Yeah, because they have the colour party thing as well, don't they?
Yeah.
They have the fireworks, and then is it like the coloured powders, that you throw about at everyone?
Yeah.
Sounds quite fun, actually.
Because I think like if a load of people just said, let's all just go, like loads of enthusiasts, it would be a good reason for a lot of people to get there who haven't been there, because it is a hard place to get to. Because you just got to dedicate yourself to like an insane drive or try and get there. Like to get there by public transport, oh my god,
next to impossible.
It's just insane. Like I saw Dragging Productions do it on Twitter, and he did like updates as they were getting to it, and it was just like been walking for like 10 minutes now trying to find this bus stop in the like a country roads, and I was like, oh my god, that looks insane.
That's why, like, even though I lived in Wales, in Cardiff, I never went when I lived in Wales.
Yeah,
because I couldn't drive when I was there, so it was like it's just stupid.
I think we were talking about when Harry from Coasterbot was on, and he was saying how like it's still, even though he lives in Wales, it's still like 4 hours for him. I'm like, it's why is it so far from everyone? Even if you live in Wales, it's because you just live in the wrong part.
It's just down in the corner of Wales, stupidly.
Yeah, you've been, haven't you, Emma? You've been to Oakwood. Yeah, you have.
We've been the ones. We went in the July after Edinburgh opened.
Yes,
took forever. We stopped at Barry Island on the way, so we broke it up a bit.
That's right. Yeah. It's just
my drive to Oakwood would be 4 hours 37 minutes.
I think that's about how much it was for me. For me and Joe. Think. Let me just check. Let me double check.
Flamingo Land is actually closer. Wow. At 4 hours 12 minutes.
Have you ever been to Oakwood, James?
No.
Bro, you need to go. Yeah. You need to go because
it's
Megaphobia could.
I'd probably plan it in with just going for a trip to Cardiff.
Yeah,
and then
that would probably be the best way to do it. To be fair, I genuinely rate that park. I think it's again, that's another like memed park, isn't it? But it's weird. Me and Joe had a great day there. I think partly because it was really sunny, but I still think it's got a good selection of rides. Yeah, it's 3 hours 40 for us, and we did it in a day. I was just like, we've got one day where we can fit it in. Drove there and then drove back in the same day.
That sounds like a hell of a drive.
Yeah, that's why when you and Chris last week were just like Flamingo Land, so like Chris was like, oh, it's like so a lot far away. I looked it up, I was like, no, it's 2.5 hours. It's not, that's like the same as Legoland most days if it's got traffic. I was like, it's fine. So yeah. But anyway, we move on to Hex, which has been down at Alton Towers for the entire season. It opened for like a day. And now it's
closed. It opened. Again. Oh, it's closed.
Yeah. Which is quite sad.
Literally, the day it opened, I said, it better not spite me and it needs to be open the weekend I go. Literally the day after it closes again, I'm like, it spited me already. Like,
it's a shame because people had actually gone like there, especially for Hex. I know Aaron did, and then it shut down. But I don't know, man. Like, I heard like people talking about it and saying like it still had a weird noise in the Madhouse section. So I feel like they've tried to like come up with a solution, to like a short-term solution to fix it, and it just obviously didn't work. So at least they were trying to get it open. It's going to be a big. That's a big. The thing is, like, if Towers could open it, they would open it, because think about how much throughput. Think about how many people that ride gets through, and it's still very popular because of its location, isn't it? So, people kind of saying, "Oh, is it done for? Are they going to invest in it?" Like, from my point of view, like, it's a no-brainer. Like, why wouldn't they? They'd never have I don't think they'd get permission today to build Hex.
No, they're not. If Hex has to go, part of their permissions is they have to fully remove like everything that was there, and they're never allowed to build in it again, basically.
Yeah,
because of the heritage.
So they haven't
it's in their best interest to maintain it and keep it as long as they can.
But they haven't really built in the actual original bit.
They're not allowed to. They literally have to take that extra building down, and they're not allowed to do anything like that again.
There again. Okay.
They can't do any permanent fixtures in the towers. Like they can do the scare mazes because there's nothing permanently put there fixture wise. But yeah, they can't do anything now.
Yeah. I don't think. I can't imagine them ever like you say like we just mentioned there. Like if they can't replace it with anything else in that place, why would they get rid of it? That surely, if it costs a lot of money to replace whatever needs to be replaced, I think they'd go with that option, just because of the sheer throughput of that thing. Because you can have like it can swallow so much people up because you've got the 2 pre-shows, and then you've got the ride itself, so it's just constantly getting people through. So yeah, I think that will come back soon. But I love Hex. It doesn't feel the same without Hex there.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't done it that much in recent years, it just feels weird it not being there. I don't know why. I hate it when this is not an option. But talking of down rides as well, Wicker Man's been down for a considerable amount of time, hasn't it? So it's come up as planned maintenance. So I don't know what that's about. It's had a lot of work done over the close season. Like the whole track had like a massive going over. I know that's like a normal thing for a wooden coaster, but like Wicker Man had a lot of work done to it.
Yeah, it does seem to, in general, since it's opened, has had a lot of work done to it, and I can't help but think it shouldn't need that much. So a tower's not doing something right with it, because it seems to have had a lot of stuff done in a short space of time.
Yeah. What Sam said, it is closed because Sean hasn't done it much recently. Yeah, they were just like, Sean's not riding it. Just
you're the curse.
Might as well just close it now. Enterprise.
Oh yeah, Enterprise is dead as well.
I mean, it's not. I can't see it coming back. I don't think that many people. I mean, people actually scared. Scared? Are people actually sad about it? I can't remember the last time I did Enterprise. I did it a couple of years ago, maybe like 3 years ago now, or 4 years ago. Well, just before COVID, they were doing like 2019, and I did it, and I was just like, that just isn't pleasant. Like, I don't like it. I don't like the feeling. Like, I don't.
Yeah, it can be a good laugh, but yeah, they end up just making me feel ill.
Yeah,
I'm usually good with rides. They just make me feel ill whenever I get on.
I only take my kids on it. I don't do it on my own.
No, I'm not a fan.
And besides, if you want it, just come down to Thorpe.
Yeah, I've never done that.
That's probably where all the parts from it are going anyway.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Isn't that I'm sure I read somewhere that one at Thorpe was from Drayton Manor. Am I mad and thinking it is, isn't it? Yeah, that one at Thorpe is from Drayton Manor. So I did say I haven't done it, but then I realised no, I have done it because I remember doing it. But yeah, so in terms of Wicker Man, I think personally for me, I think the reason it has had to have a lot of work done is this is like a mad guess, right? But that thing has a lot of mist pumping out of it, and I know like there's a lot of coasters that have like misters on the actual on wooden coasters. Like I know like Colossus at Hyde Park has misters on it to like keep it damp, because if it gets too dry, that can be bad for it as well. But I don't know if it's something to do with like the amount of mist that's pumped out of it. But then again, if that is the reason, they're just turning it off.
So wet that it's rotting, basically.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And because like Alton Towers, honestly, I personally think that place has its own like climate. Like I don't think it's like it can be sunny everywhere around that area when I'm going to film there, and then I get there and it's it's either super sunny where everywhere's raining, or it's super, super wet. It's just like a bit of a damp place a lot of the time. So it's a bit like Nemesis in its little hole. You know, it's a challenging place for a ride to be, especially for a wooden coaster. But then again, Blackpool's wooden coasters don't seem to have that many issues. So I don't know what it is.
It's got to be something that they're not doing right, because
I don't think it's maintenance issues, because I think Merlin would have learned a lot from Colossus. The fact that they had to completely rebuild that ride because they just weren't looking after it. Like that was happening way before Wicker Man was even built. So they wouldn't have made that mistake again. Especially because obviously Colossus is Intamin prefab. That they were almost like missold that and said, yeah, you can have this and you didn't have to do any of the maintenance. And I think they just took that a little bit too literally to be like, oh, we can just leave it, it's fine now. But yeah, it's interesting. So what's the chat saying? Anyone saying anything interesting?
With Jack, any word on Nemesis close date? From what we know, they still actually haven't decided to do it yet. In terms of the retrack, all that planning permission they submitted was just, are we legally allowed to do it?
Yeah,
they've never. I don't think they've actually confirmed if they're going ahead with it this year.
Yeah, they've not officially confirmed it.
they might be doing background work and they have decided, but nothing publicly.
I was just laughing because Sam said, "Place it with a Sam Perla flare." Much more comfortable. Rickerman has a really bad squeak. I mean, it's a wooden coaster, right? Like they make weird noises. That's kind of like what they do. I don't know. I've been on Wickerman loads this season, and it's felt like the best it's ran since its opening year. Like I've not found any weird things going on with that. So I don't know what it is. It might be something to do with the trains or something like that. I don't think it's to do with the track personally. I think it was to do with the track. I haven't seen any like people posting up photos of work being done to the track or anything like that. So maybe it's just something to do with the trains. Rick said Emma gives a wave.
Yeah, I'm just reading through the chat.
Yeah. Anyway, hopefully they can get the all these rides back open for summer because it's fast approaching.
Yeah, not long now.
And I mean, yeah, it just means all the rides. I mean, Nemesis was on a 90-minute queue the other day, and I was like, can someone go and check on Nemesis? Like, she can't handle
Nemesis
that
having a
pressure. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, Nemesis's queue line is always like overestimated anyway. Like when I get in there, and it's like sometimes it's 40 minutes, and I'm on it in 10. So yeah. So there we go. So Parque Warner. There's been construction work. So Parque Warner, obviously, if you've missed this, they are currently constructing a Intamin Blitz coaster. So this is Parque Warner Madrid. So let's see. Yeah, it's really good. Have you seen much of this, James? Have you seen the photos yet?
I've seen a couple of them, not all of them.
Yeah, I was meant to get the screenshots up. Where the hell are they gone? I've got this one. So this is actually no, I had a video. Here we go. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. I won't share the music because it's really over dramatic, right? But so this is the top hat getting constructed. This looks like it's going to be huge, you know.
Yeah.
Like it looks absolutely gigantic, and you can see it as you walk into the park as well. It's like on the main strip down the middle, it seems, if I looked at it right. But yeah, like I just can't get over how quick this is going up. Like it feels like only like a few weeks ago.
Not messing about, are we?
No, we're getting right onto it. someone did this like interpretation of their completed top hat.
Oh wow, that's a very interesting top hat.
Yeah, it looks more like a banana roll, doesn't it?
So you come in
without the roll.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of like, is that like it's not an inversion. It's like a.
Yeah, it looks like it unbanks itself before.
Yeah, it's like it's like it's like Icon's Immelman, where it just it unrolls. Am I right? Yeah. But yeah, it looks really interesting. It seems like it's in the Batman area. So probably gonna have like a Batman type theme. Because they've got a lot of stuff there that's themed after that. But with that coaster there now, it's gonna seem like that just seems like the coaster that park needs to like really make it stand out. Because when I look through what they've got there, they've got a Batman clone. They've got Coaster Express. I don't even know what these are. It's basically just a Six Flags park.
It's got a few coasters that are decent, but nothing incredible. So they should like bump them up like.
Yeah, this will be something that everyone goes to, like around Europe, and if it's good enough, even America as well. So I'm just hoping they get something like I hope that it's like they've really thought about it and trying to compete it with like the other Intamin coasters out there now. Because if they I don't think it's going to be hard for a coaster to beat Velocicoaster just because of the theming and the IP. But you just don't know now, do you? Because every time something comes out, people are like, "That's better. That's better. That's better than that." The fact that like even if you look at RMCs and Velocicoaster was only open a few months, and then Iron Gwazi opened, and everyone's like, "That's the best one in Orlando now." And it's just like everyone just keeps topping each other. So be very, very interesting to see how that turns out, and I'm definitely going to be following the construction on that. So let's go through these. Right, I would design a roller coaster around Emma. It would be beautiful and mysterious. My God, do you know who Craig is?
No, but I have a feeling that Craig's probably not who Craig says he is. Do you know
probably.
What I mean?
I should not have started reading that out.
Sure, read them before you click them.
Yeah, sorry. You need to have a glass of water, mate, and sort yourself out. So Chris Ryan said, excellent park, but the worst operations ever. Is that Parque Warner Madrid he's talking about?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just can't get over that comment. It's so funny. Matt saying, having never done an Intamin Blitz before, SIK has got me even more excited to get on one after experiencing the lap bars. Yeah, man. Me and Joe were saying this, and we were saying if you had never done a coaster with these Intamin lap bar restraints, and that was like, and SIK was the first one you'd ever experienced of that, I can imagine that going to the top of your list in UK rides, because it's like a completely different experience. Because we have like Icon, obviously, but Icon, it does really well, but it doesn't have like the height, it doesn't have like the inversions and stuff. So if that's your first experience of it, it'll blow you away. Because I think our first experience of it, me and Joe, was Taron, and I was just like, couldn't believe how freeing it felt to do do a coaster that intense with just a lap bar. Was mad. So PP Boy said Parque Warner has some great rides. The log flume also has the secret airtime hill.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Wait, what?
Terrifying.
Oh, so
okay,
good.
I now need to look this up.
Yeah, I need to look. I've not looked much into that park at all.
Honestly, if you watch them on ride POV, so people filming like face cam, going, is that like a backwards drop? And when it hits the thing, everyone's just like, fuck off, like out the seats. It's dangerous.
Oh, I need to look at that. It's like, are we talking
after a backwards drop, you said?
It's on the backwards drop.
Yeah, if you find that, send me the link. I'll get it up.
Just trying to find where it goes backwards.
Mm.
I think maybe PBE did one because I know Chris and Gemma were with them. I'm wondering whether they had that on the PBE or not.
Lap bars are very different in the UK's over the shoulder. I can see why they're feeling would wow the UK audience. Yeah, 100%. Like I say, like I felt it feels kind of unfair because I felt like I was like, even though I'm looking at SIK in terms of like UK lineup, I can see it's definitely like in the top 10. Definitely in the top 10, not a top 5 for me, but definitely in the top 10. But like the fact that we did like Conda recently, like it's kind of unfair to then go and do like SIK and then try and compare that and still have that pretty fresh in your memory. Yeah, it's just a different one really. Grand National has had lap bar only near death experience for decades. Very true. Very true. Yeah. My first major lap bar coaster was Flying Aces. Fell in love with that. With Intamin lap bars afterwards. They're a weird one, aren't they? Because you found that on Conda, Emma, that they was like it had so much intenseness that it like proper bruised you, didn't it?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. So obviously this past weekend I've just rode Goliath, which is an older Intamin, and I was really, really worried. But the older restraint works better for me. It was nowhere near. I loved it. It was so good. And you get some solid ejector on that, and it wasn't an issue. So it's just these new, because even the seat wasn't right, so I don't know. I just didn't get on with the Conda trains at all.
Yeah, that's really interesting. To be fair,
I just put the link of the log flume in there.
Okay, yeah, we'll get that up. Yeah, because I've been hearing people saying that about Intamin's lap bars recently, but obviously it's not something that affects me. Like it affects Joe. But I just thought that was like kind of when you said that when you come off Conda, I was like, God, I never even thought that Intamin would be like their lap bars, because Max just seem really comfortable, don't they? In terms of like, I don't know, are they just wider?
They seem to have a curvature to them, the Max one, whereas the Conda one was just really hard, straight.
Yeah.
Whereas the older one on Goliath had a curve to it.
So that's the drop, going into the backward section. Great theming, though.
Yeah, I love that.
It just looks like an instruction site.
Yeah.
Like a storage room. Yeah.
There you go.
It actually does take you by surprise. Ridiculous. Oh. Hey.
Getting there. It kind of reminds me, it's probably nowhere near it, but when we did London Dungeons recently, and there's a water ride, there's the water ride in there. I did not expect that to have a flipping turntable and do a backwards drop on the water ride inside London Dungeons. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Here we go. Airtime.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, that's good.
That's a big airtime hill.
Yeah. It's so funny. When we was in Walibi, Belgium, we did the log flume. And it's me, Joe, Gemma, and Chris on our log. And Chris was like busy taking photos, and we saw the turntable, and then we were like, I was like, I'm not going on the back. If it's got a turntable, I'm not going on the back. And then everyone else was like, no. And then Gemma was like, Chris, you want to go on the back? And Chris was like, yeah, I'll go on the back. Yeah, it's fine. And then he didn't know there was a turntable. So when we got onto the turntable, he was just zoned out doing his own thing. He was like, there's a turntable. What? No. And it just like got chopped backwards. He's like, no. It wasn't that bad, thankfully.
We were on the boat in front though, so we could see as you come down, and Chris is just like, nobody told me.
We just thought he was in that conversation, and he just zoned out. So there you go. That's brilliant. Good. Gemma, I will sit at the back. Exactly. Chris saying, if you want insane airtime with lock bars that feels like it's trying to rip you in half, then check out Lightning Run at Kentucky Kingdom. Absolutely insane. Yeah, mate, I will check it out. Yeah, when I can afford to go, I'll go check it out, mate.
It's America, Chris. You never mentioned it.
That's all them lot are going to be talking about now. you know, they'd be like, "Oh, you think SIK's good? Oh my god, right." But anyway, so as we're talking about water rides and backwards drops, let's talk about Valhalla. So
segue.
There we go. So yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Valhalla recently because it's starting to test. It's got water running around it. We're seeing boats going around. Which when I saw that, I thought that's a great kind of, I don't know, like what are the word I'm looking for? I'm tired. Sign. That's a really good sign. That's a great sign. If boats are running around. But it looks like in the video, am I right in thinking that it's not going to have a backwards drop now?
From the testing footage, it looks like they were rotating the boat the opposite way.
Yeah.
And they were going all the way round, pointing it back forwards for the drop.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me.
That's what I thought. So that was really, really bizarre. If they decided to get rid of that element.
It's like, what's the point in having the turntable if you're not going to put it backwards?
Well, I guess because how would you make that? It's probably like a really tight, tight bend, isn't it?
Mm.
But it just seems unnecessary unless they've had to take out the other turntable to do something else in there potentially. So yeah, there's at the minute, obviously this is not confirmed at all by the park. This is just pure speculation. But some people are anticipating it to be open at the end of the month, and then some people are saying it's going to be like next year now. So it's just it's so hard to speculate about it because we don't know what it looks like inside.
Yeah.
Because when I saw it tested,
didn't they say it was like summer this year originally? What they had planned for?
Yeah. Middle.
Just depends on whether they've hit there.
I was hopeful. Then I saw Amanda Thompson's tweets, and I was kind of like, it doesn't sound good because it's the stuff she says. She's like, there's things she doesn't even know about it yet. So surely you think if it was like nearly done, it would all be like, I don't know. But then they're making adverts for it and stuff. So if it's, why would they be making adverts this early if it's going to be next year opening? That doesn't make sense either. So.
I don't know. It's one of them. I mean, the whole Amanda Thompson thing, I don't generally take anything she says seriously because I'm not entirely sure she knows what she's talking about in general on Twitter. She shouldn't be allowed Twitter, let's be honest.
It's not just on Twitter. Comedy. It's in real life as well. I mean, we have a clip of her.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I don't know. I just think... I just think if it's not open by the beginning of the summer holidays, then just don't bother for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
No
one wants to go on it during.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'd still go on it.
Will you get as wet on it?
Hopefully not.
Is that like one of the reasons they've taken out the backwards bit? To try.
No, because it wasn't even like
it wasn't even the backwards part. It was
no. It was honestly the worst part about that was the broken water tunnels, like because they would just like pour straight into the boat and get you soaked, and just like as soon as you got in it, you just had wet feet, like you couldn't escape it. So you can almost like. You did get wet because I remember doing it like the first when I did it. It was the opening year because me and my family went up, sorry, and you did get insanely wet, but it was like nothing like you were getting like the last few years. Like it was just insane. Like you could wear a poncho and you'd still be wet. Like I was like, how is that even possible? Like, but it's such a. We're kind of getting used to it because it's not been open for so long. But when I think about it, whenever I go to that, because that part of the park now is kind of dead. You've got like Ice Blast, which I'll do now and again, but you just don't tend to venture down that side of the park anymore. But when I do, I look at it, I'm like, oh man, it is really missed at that park. And I just think because if they're updating all the systems, they'll be able to do what a lot of log flumes can do, which is, adjust the water level to not get you as wet in the winter. And then you've got like an all year round ride like Chapass does. Like if they can manage that out, then it'd be sorted. But I just want it to open. I just want it to open so I know it's good or bad. Do you know what I mean? Like if they've really
see what they've done,
because they didn't need to do that much to it, in my opinion. Like I still thought it was a good ride. They just need to sort out the system. They need to sort out it not being so wet all the time. Just update some of the effects, and it'll be sorted. But they've obviously chose to go down a real big change because they're changing the music and everything. So, in my opinion, if they're changing the music, they're changing pretty much everything in it.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
I wonder if they're still going to have the big vacuum.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it's gone.
Hopefully they don't need to use it. But I feel like they probably have still kept it just for the moment.
Yeah.
See how bad it is. Then
keep it on standby.
The only thing I can really gather from it, from what I've seen, is it just seems to have like a bit of a darker undertone to it. Maybe like the snippets of music that I've heard sound a bit darker, with the station being painted black and that. It seems to have like gone down a darker route, maybe.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I haven't got a bloody clue. So
no.
I don't think anyone does.
No. It's I just want to know, have they been working on like all the theming inside it alongside the ride system? In an ideal world, they've been working on all the theming and everything. They've sorted out the ride system, and now they're just like testing out all the effects and stuff in it. But in another world, it could literally be we've had to wait until the ride system needed a complete overhaul. We've suddenly done it all, and now we're going to get started on the actual like theming of it and stuff. Like they've probably got it all planned out, but is anything installed? So that's the difference of whether it's going to open this month or next year. Really, is how far along are they with everything? The fact that Notable Stranger posted like a couple of weeks ago that he's now getting started on the music, I was like, flipping out. Like that's not a great sign. I think so. I think he did like the main tune to it, but it seems like to me by his Twitter post that every section has like a different type of soundtrack, which that's a cool sign, because that building is because one of the things with doing like a custom song for each section is it's really hard if you're in a big open building like Valhalla, because it all just bleeds into each other. Because like you're going past all the different tracks, so how would that even work? So maybe they've enclosed it a little bit. But yeah. By the way, it's pretty good because we've not mentioned Valhalla for like a lot of episodes now.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, because normally we have this, don't we? Stop talking about Valhalla. We mentioned it like every episode, and it was like we need to stop talking about Valhalla because it's making it worse. Yeah. So hopefully that honestly is the only ride at Pleasure Beach that I've actually purchased like fast passes for. There's been a few times over the summer when it was open, obviously, that because it gets insane queues, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then I've been like, I'm just gonna pay for a fast pass, and you just walk past everyone, and they all just give you evils. It's
a great feeling.
It's such a good feeling. I love it. So let's see what the comments are saying. So
they're saying about installing a barbershop at the end of the ride.
That's why it's taking so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I should do something different, like I don't know, like a sock shop.
Your post about the Toby Carver proper cracked me up. That is not a bad idea. Like I could think
that's pretty good,
better.
isn't it? Yeah.
My two favourite things in life, like
I think I missed that one.
Yeah, it's because it become like because like Parks and Points posted like about the barbershop thing, like update. I put like update. SIK has a Toby Carvery in the queue. Just a picture of like Toby Carvery, and I was just like, but you know, the reason I posted that was because me and Joe went for a Toby Carvery, and I was just in there, and I was just like, oh, this would be hilarious. So I was like, imagine this in the queue, and then tweeted it, and yeah, it is a good idea. I would go for that. I mean, maybe not SIK because there's so much, you know, there's like 10 inversions one after another. You know,
you'd want to do it after the ride, not before it.
If I come out of a Toby Carvery, like I just need to have a lie down. I have to have a nap for about an hour. Especially because You want to go on?
So Reese has put like a Greg's at the end. See, that's good tier. You know, it's not too heavy, so you know you can still ride after a pasty.
Well, it's Blackpool, so it'd be Pound Bakery, wouldn't it? That'd be.
I'm not a snob. I'll take two pasties for £1. You can't moan at that, can you? So.
I actually, being a vegetarian, like their veggie sausage rolls are like top tier. They're better than Greg's. I think they're good, man.
Get on the blower. It's a Blackpool. So that's what we want.
I want a Pound Bakery. Well, because we used to park quite a lot at the train station car park. So we used to walk past Pound Bakery every time, and we don't have many Pound Bakeries around here. So I always looked forward to getting a sausage roll on the way to Blackpool. So needs to be one. I've said this before, and it's been said on Twitter, but I think the UK parks need to embrace, like, you know, the Britishness and be like more Greg's or Pound Bakeries in theme parks. Like, what is going on? We've got Costas in theme parks now. Obviously,
Chessington opened up for a tortilla. It's like
if I could get like a sausage bean pasty and a yum after a ride, I'd be elated. I'm telling you.
That's one thing Flamingo Land has got. It's got what they're called, Couplands. Have you seen them before?
Oh yeah, they've got bakery, haven't they?
Like a bakery, so they have like pasties and stuff in there, but don't really rate Couplands that much, to be honest. But yeah, they've got one of them inside the park, and I was like, head of the game. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Ideas. Great.
Toby Carvery before Hero, so you can have a lie down.
Oh, God.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Toby Carvery inside a park is not a bad shout, though, is it? Realistically, just like a Carvery inside. Greg's is good. I think Toby. I don't know. Would it be too much?
I couldn't walk far after a Toby Carvery.
No.
If they had it at Towers, you'd feel good because you'd have like a long walk. You'd plan it so you could just do you could just walk to the other end of the park. You've walked it off then.
Sorry if you can hear that.
Yeah, no, it's
it?
It's Emma.
We have a field near us that the youth like to ride dirt bikes.
I thought it was the cow.
It did sound like a cow, didn't it?
And now there's like a car.
Yeah. Yes, like Water Valley used to have a carvery. I bet that was pretty tragic, though, right? I bet that wasn't a good one. Like Aunt Bessie's flipping Yorkshire puddings. Nah, mate. Anyway, moving on. So you've just recently been on a trip, haven't you, Emma?
Yay!
So you went to Walibi Holland and you went to Toverland. So first of all, what's your favourite ride of the trip?
My favourite was Troy at Toverland, the big GCI. Yeah. That blew me away.
Yeah, we'll come on to that. What's your favourite coaster at Walibi Holland?
It's close. So Untamed was my first ever RMC.
Yeah.
And like we were saying before, I have problems with my thighs with airtime because I've got sparrow legs, essentially. It hurts. So I was worried. And my first two rides on Untamed were absolute agony because you have a seatbelt under your lap bar and the buckle sat on my thigh. So it just dug in and dug in. Hence those, like, I've posted on social media, the bruises on my legs. They were from the seatbelt. But then it was Joe that told me to kind of do it up above my gut and rest it on top of that. And then I had 3 more rides after that. And they were incredible. But then I'd also been really hyped for Goliath. And I'm not sure whether Goliath just tops Untamed because it was just less painful in general.
Yeah.
They were both wicked.
Yeah. Look, Goliath is so good.
Yeah, the first ride we had, I was a little bit underwhelmed. I rode back row and it was like our second ride of the day. And I enjoyed it, but I was like, it was really slow. And I was like, oh, and we know how coasters work. But then when we rode it later on that afternoon, it was like quadruple the speed. It flew round. So it was incredible.
I love that. Because we did Goliath like about 3 weeks before we did Shambhala. And I was so hyped for Shambhala because I'd never done it at the time, and I was like, even though obviously like it's Intamin, I was like, this is going to give us like a little bit of a taste of what this style of coaster's like. And then we did Goliath, and I was like, I'm sold. Like this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then Shambhala, obviously, I love it. I love it. What did you think of Lost Gravity?
We only got one ride on Lost Gravity because it had the biggest queue of the day. We did single rider, and I ended up sat on the back right, so like
right. Yeah.
It was good. First half was better than the second half.
Mm.
Like you got some wicked airtime and hang time on the first half. I loved it, and I think I preferred that probably over a Eurofighter because it's like a similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, it was probably like third underneath the RMC and the Intamin.
That's good. I just think for me, because I'd never done anything like that big, like a Mac Big Dipper before, like it kind of like blew me away because I didn't know. Because I think recently it's getting hyped quite a lot because Europa Park have like obviously announced that they're getting one. But at the time, I'd not really heard much about Mac Big Dippers, and I'd not heard that much about Lost Gravity. Of like, I knew kind of what it was, but I was so hyped to go and do my first RMC Untamed that I kind of just was like, okay, I wasn't really thinking about it, and I did it, and it just was like, this is what like Eurofighter should be personally. It's just so well done, and I hope more.
It rattled though. It really rattled.
Did it rattle? Yeah, I've heard it's getting a rattle to it now.
Don't know whether that's just because I was on the outside seats, like I did it once, so I couldn't try the in ones. But
I think it's just wing seats, isn't it? Like they're just notorious for it.
Mikhail's here.
Mikhail is in the chat.
Mikhail.
Hey, Mikhail, how you doing, man?
I'm joking.
Yeah, you've been replaced, bro. Sorry. So Mikhail is all set up in Canada. He's it won't be long now until he's back with us. So I'm really looking forward to it. Just got to get his mic sorted out now, and we're ready to go. So yeah, man. Thanks so much for joining us, dude. Yeah, miss you too, mate. Miss you too. You got to come back. Definitely. And by the way, guys, Luke is coming back tomorrow from Florida, so hopefully he'll be on next week, and that'll be a really cool episode because he's going to tell us about his first ever trip to Orlando. He's obviously had the time of his life. I think he's a changed man, to be honest.
It looks like he's had a week.
The sound of it. By the sounds of it, he doesn't want to visit a UK theme park ever again, apparently. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that and getting everyone back on. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Can I get a
I'm just remembering that time you were driving past that truck and you sent the video in the chat.
Oh yeah, Emma did that recently as well. She found the same truck. Oh yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so how was your experience? Walibi Holland was your first park of that trip. How did you feel? How did you feel about the park and stuff?
I liked the park. It wasn't overly busy, which was great. I liked the fact that there wasn't a lot of pop music. It was mostly like techno, like dance, like it was like good vibes. And in the station,
like lo-fi as well, like lo-fi kind of.
Yeah,
it's a weird. Yeah, it's like a different type to what you expect, isn't it?
Yeah, and the music was really loud in the stations as well, which is nice, and the staff were really nice, and nobody pinned you in on anything, which was great.
Yeah, it's a big. I love the Netherlands parks because a lot of enthusiasts work at them. I know they do at our parks, but over there it's like I feel like it's a culture of like they just like they love it sort of thing. So yeah, go on.
Yeah, but you asked me. You said which did I prefer, Walibi Belgium or Walibi Holland, and I think I preferred Walibi Belgium. I just the park felt, I don't know, just felt.
Do you think that's because it was like it was just because there's not many people there though, or
I don't know really.
Is it just a general vibe around the park really?
I don't know, because like I said, like Walibi Holland doesn't have a bad vibe at all. Like it was really like upbeat and really fun, and it had enough people there to have an atmosphere. But I don't know, maybe it's just the way it's set out because obviously Belgium's around a big lake. It's more spacious than Walibi Holland, isn't it? So
yeah,
I don't know.
And I think Walibi Holland is a weird layout of a park because you've got like a lot of dead ends. Like Goliath is in like just a dead end, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think when they get this this Raptor, this RMC Raptor, I think that will complete the park a little bit more.
Yeah, because it's just on that little path. So
yeah, it's round by there. But I don't know. Like when me and Joe went, because we had 2 days there. It was like we were so when we did our Netherlands trip. I don't know what the hell we was thinking. We must have been like we had 2 days at every single park. These days it'd be like you don't need it, do you? You don't need it. So we were just like we're so chilled at every park. So we was like, I don't matter. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do this and that. But no, I loved it. I think it does. Obviously, it always depends on when you go and what's going on. But I remember when me and Joe like walked into Walibi Holland, and we went into like the main kind of I don't know what you call it, like the dome there, answer to the dome when you go through it, and you've got like the entrance to express platform, and then like there's like a wardrobe. Did you see that? I don't know if it's still there, but they had a wardrobe in the corner.
No, I totally forgot about that because you told me to look, didn't you? No,
so there's a wardrobe in there, and someone just randomly come up to me and went like knock on the wardrobe. So like we knocked on the wardrobe, and they opened it, and you walked through the wardrobe, and it was a rave in there. There's like DJ decks, and there's like it was proper like it was a massive room. And everyone was just in there raving, and I was like, I did not expect this to happen. So I don't know if because that was like our first experience, and we was like, this is so insane. But yeah, that was like our first experience, and then obviously we just went. I love like, even though I've been to so many like great, like we all have been to really nicely themed places and stuff, like. There's just something about the wilderness area where Untamed is that I just absolutely love that whole like vibe of it, of like overgrown stuff, and like it's all like rusty and that, and like I just absolutely love that area. Did you do Speed of Sound?
Yeah, I did. I didn't enjoy it. I found it really rough.
It was really
rough. I enjoyed the music and the experience. But the coaster itself was dog shit.
It was horrible. It's like, I don't enjoy boomerangs. I never have. I've never enjoyed a boomerang. But I flipping love that soundtrack where it's just like, buckle up, it's a thrill ride.
Yeah, it was good.
And we did a couple of rides in that just because I was like, it's just so funny. Like just to have that go off. I don't know why. It just made me laugh so much. So I'm trying to think what else. Express platform.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. Q-Line
weird, isn't it?
Sensational, but it was the slowest roller coaster I've ever been on in my life.
It's just so bizarre. Like I just like that coaster was designed to be inside. That's it.
Yeah,
like,
it's just so weird.
Yeah,
they put all this effort into this phenomenal Q-Line and station. It's wicked, and then it's just like, and you just go outside, and it's really bloody slight. We're back in again. You think. Then you go back in, it's got the whole train thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. What happened to this bit?
It's really bizarre. I remember just coming off and being like, I was so hyped to do this because of the queue line and everything. And it was like, I'd never been in anything like that before. And that should have been an indoor coaster. It should still be an indoor coaster.
Yeah, it don't make any sense.
No, it's so weird. And it just, you have like a pretty epic launch. The launches on them are always good. But then you just launch into nothing, into like the slowest helixes I've ever done. I'm like, what is this? It's so bizarre. It's like it's more like Runaway Mine Train is way more intense than that thing.
Yeah, we all got off it and we were just like, right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, like Jack said, it would be such a good, like if they just put that indoors, like they could make that so much better. Because have you done the Rock and Roller Coaster? No, because like that feels super fast because you're inside, and everything feels fast when you're in the dark anyway. But then you put like things around you, and it makes it feel like way faster than it actually is.
Yeah.
And it just like as soon as I did that, it kind of just ruined the Rock and Roller Coasters for me because I was like, "Is this how crap these coasters are? Like this is so weird." Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, dude. It's like being on PB Express. Yeah. I was honestly, me and Joe were just so disappointed with that. Buckle up, it's a thrill ride. There you go, Joe. Yeah.
I've just seen Jack's put beef from a cow. We went in to get something to eat.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what any of the food was. So there's like these wraps. So I said to the guy, I was like, what's in them? And he was like, and I was like, in it, what's in it? And he just opened it and went, beef from a cow, and then put it down.
Beef from a cow. That's amazing.
That's brilliant.
That's great. Conda.
Oh my god. Burn it, set it on fire. We sat on the front row and I was like, I didn't want to go on it, but I'd got to experience what everyone was talking about. Sat on the front row, and as soon as like they pulled the vest down, I was like, oh no. And it was, I mean, it's janky as anything anyway, but the vest gets tighter and tighter and tighter. I couldn't breathe.
Does it? Yeah. See, when we did the one in Energylandia with the vests, it's the first time we'd done vests on an SLC. It wasn't like that at all.
Oh, it was horrid. It was like, on the Swarm with like that, it gets tighter.
Yeah.
It was tight in the middle of your chest. It was horrible.
Oh, that's not good. You don't need that, especially on that coaster as well. Like, I'm still yet to do a coaster as bad as that. Like, because it's like, Hero's bad. It's uncomfortable. But the fact that I will go, the other day I was like, I want to go and do it again. Well, yesterday I was like, I want to do it again just because it's like, it's funny how bad it is. I got off that and I was like, that is the first coaster I've done where I've been like, that just needs to go. Like, it is horrible. Like, even express platform, it's boring, but it's so I can understand some people liking it. That thing is just, it's so bad.
I've only had one coaster with that.
Yeah.
Which
Jack
was
Infusion, so he was
buzzing. I hate it.
And he was like, no.
Yeah.
No, my one coaster that I've ridden, that's like, no, just get rid of it, was Infusion.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it once. I'm like, I'm not doing it again.
See,
that shit was painful. I had the worst headache I think I've ever had coming off of that.
I have good and bad rides on Infusion. So sometimes I'll have a good ride in it, and I'm like, actually, that was pretty good because what I like about Infusion is just the fact that it's at Pleasure Beach. Like, sometimes, because I don't do it that often, sometimes I like doing Infusion because it's just so intense, even though it can be like really headbangy and stuff. I'm like, I just need that intenseness sometimes, and there's no other coaster at Blackpool that really gives you like, kind of an invert intense G's sort of thing. So sometimes I do like it. But yeah, Conda, I can't believe it. But like when we did it, obviously, like I say, like we did it with the over the shoulders, and it was like it was like constant head, like it was like your head was like a ping pong. And normally I can get away with it because I can put my head very forward and like get away with it. But with that one, I just couldn't. It was just like getting the sides of my ears, and it was dreadful, man. Absolutely dreadful. We got Screw Loops in the house. It's like in the Lake District at the minute.
In the lake. Are you actually in the
lake? Yeah, how we doing? So yeah, someone needs to send help to Chris because is he generally in danger? Do we need to get someone in there? He's in a caravan. There you go, Rachel's mum's caravan. Enjoy, mate. Enjoy it.
Can someone tell me how to get over fears of drop towers? Because I'm thinking of doing Detonator at Fort Park in October.
Who's saying that?
13,899.
I would say embrace it. Just embrace the fear, because honestly, like, I don't get scared of coasters anymore. Like, there's nothing. Like, I get excited, and if anything, I get nervous about rides because I'm like, I want it to be good. Is it going to be good? Yeah. So I don't really get that. Like, oh my god, that looks big. I have not had that since I was like a kid. To be honest, I've just never had that. I get more scared about going on a crappy little ghost train at a fair. And I do because
it's gonna fall apart while you're on it.
No, I don't like spooky stuff. I love it, but it makes me nervous because it's like the unexpected. I don't know what's going to happen. So I love drop towers because they still give me that fear. Like they just do.
Yeah, I agree with what Joe says. Just look straight out.
Yeah,
like don't look
that's
up
a good
at
one.
don't look up at the rest of the tower or back down.
Yeah, that's what I do because I'm petrified.
Last time I rode Detonator, it felt like, because Detonator isn't a just standard free fall, it does, well, it is meant to launch you.
It doesn't anymore.
Does it still not do it? Because last time I rode it, it didn't launch anymore.
I think
so it's not as bad as it was.
Yeah.
It used to be a lot
Yeah,
worse.
see, I don't mind the actual sensation of the falling. It's just the slow rise and
it's anticipation. But
just focusing on the views. Just don't look at the tower, basically.
Joe likes drop towers now because we did Highlander. And go check out our Hansa Park vlog on Parkspill 13, because at the end of that, Joe, she doesn't like drop towers. She does them because I'm just like, I'd never try and force her on him, but I'm just like, you'll regret not doing it, because she always regrets not doing it afterwards. And we did Highlander, which is like, at one point it was like the highest gyro drop tower in the world. It still is the one in Europe. It was still the highest one in Europe, and that was like perfect for her because it's not intense on the way down, but on the way up it plays you like bagpipe music, because it's like it's like Scotland. It's like in the it's in the British area, but it's like it's Highlander, so it's Scotland. And as it's going up, it's just rotating you around, but it's like the most relaxing music. It's so nice. And then you just like got these amazing views. And then like afterwards, Joe was like, I like drop towers now. Like that's literally just got over a fear of it. And then like the next day was at Hyde Park. And she did I can't remember what it's called now, the drop tower there, the Intamin gyro there. And then she wasn't even that phased by it. So it kind of like, it's weird how that one ride, because she just like, because that's the thing with me, like I don't feel that intimidated. For some reason, Apocalypse still gets me. I think it's because when I was younger, like I still have that like thought of like, you know, when I was younger, when I was actually really, really scared of it. But if I do any other drop towers now, I don't get that scared from him. But that's because I'm just like, I love the ride up, because you get to see the park as a whole. So if you put your mind onto the views rather than going, this is bloody high, and looking down and stuff, then I think it's a little bit better. Unless it's the ones that just drop you straight forward onto you looking out. So so the taller drop towers tend to have less forceful drops as well. That's been my experience.
Yeah, definitely. I found the smaller ones, they tend to launch because of the fact
I don't know, you know, because we done that Dalton Terror at Belgium, Walibi Belgium.
Yeah.
That was like an Intamin giant drop, and that was still really forceful.
Yeah, because I wanted to do that because I heard that it's still really forceful. Yeah, but like, because I've done, obviously, I've done thingy at, what the hell is it called now? At Portaventura.
Hurricane Condor?
Hurricane Condor. I've done that. That's like, that's like insanely high. And that's got a pretty weak, for me, I think it's got a pretty weak drop compared to Apocalypse anyway. So I wanted to do that one at Belgium just because it was like in the middle of them both. And I was like, you're going to get best of both then. You're going to get the height and the intenseness. That's why I wanted to do it. But in the end, we chose Condor. And we chose well, to be honest, because we got that last ride on it, didn't we? There we go. Yes. Did you do anything else at Walibi Holland that stood out?
We did the log flume, which was fun. Same as the one at Walibi Belgium, just with no theming.
Yeah.
And we did the rapids. They were fun because it was the first half of my rapids that I'd done, you know, the split boat where the water rushes up the middle. Yeah, so they weren't particularly wet, like on the side of the boat, but you still get wet.
It comes over, doesn't it? It's really weird.
Yeah.
It comes over.
And we also did the top spin.
Yeah.
Which I was really excited for, but they had the fountains on, but they weren't wetting you with them. And we asked, and she said it's got to be above 30 degrees for him to wet you.
Oh, really?
So we were fuming.
That's quite a high.
Yeah.
It was really hot. It was like 26, so it was boiling. And she said, no. And we was like, can't you just do it for us? Because we're the only ones on it. And she said, no, they have to get maintenance to come and mess with it. And
I got soaked on that. Joe didn't come on it, but I didn't. I got absolutely soaked on that.
We were looking forward to it, but no water. But yeah, we did pretty much everything.
Yeah. And Untamed was good, right? You loved Untamed.
Yeah, once I sorted the seatbelt out, it was really good.
Oh yeah.
Already done.
It's just relentless, but it's just so weird because I've only done Untamed and Zadra, and they feel like two different coasters because obviously Untamed is all about just like pure ejector, like you just popping off all over the place. You get that with Zadra, but the elements are like more drawn out, and it just you feel the speed like so much more on it. I can't wait until you go and do Zadra because it's just so good. It'd be interesting to see if you prefer it to Untamed. To be fair, because Untamed, it's just incredible. I want to go back so much. Yeah, yeah.
Chris was asking, "How's your airtime bruises?"
Yeah,
purple.
See, I didn't get this hurt. Like Joe did get hurt on them last few elements. Jesus, they are just. It's
just up and down
and it's the head choppers as well. Like you feel like you're gonna smash your head. Like it's so crazy. And you come into that break run so fast as well. Yeah. I miss Sarja every day too. Yeah. Jack talking to Emma before and saying that Still Vengeance has 5 of them bunny hills at the end. But Carl, like I'm not just saying it, but there's a lot of Americans who have done Still Vengeance a lot, including our good friend Larson Loopers, James Larson, and he's from America, and he's at Energylandia like every other month because they all rate it more than Still Vengeance, which blows my mind because it's like my number 1 bucket list coaster, still is. But they actually like it. That's what made me really like. I wanted to go to Energylandia, but that's what made me really want to get out there this year because they've done so many coaster trips around the UK, around Europe, and they're adamant that Zarja is the best RMC they've done. So that blows my mind that that's only in Poland. So I was like, I've kind of got to go really. If they're saying that makes me feel like I need to go. So, yeah, it'd be interesting when Cole and Chris and Gemma and that go and do it because like they can compare it to Still Vengeance. Because something I hear about Still Vengeance is great, but it's like it's almost too long. Do you know what I mean? Like for an RMC, like it's too long in terms of like the intenseness of it and like the getting like the ejector and stuff like that. So I can't wait. Talking about Still Vengeance, Drunk Riders in the chat. How are we doing?
Daddy.
Yeah, so they are going very soon this month, isn't it? I think
they said 7.
Yeah,
Zadra in 7 days.
7 days. I can't wait to hit. Oh man, if you guys in the chat have not listened to Drunk Riders, please go check them out. Absolutely great podcast. Inspired this podcast, to be fair. So, yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hyperion is a knob. It is. Don't rate that ride. I don't rate it at all. I think it's okay. It's good. It's all right. It's good in context of Energylandia. It's good. But it's not as good as everyone says it is, man. If you want craptastic content, we're here for you. Oh yeah. That's what we're all about. That's what we're all about here. Zaddy daddy. I love that. Yeah. So there anything else you want to say about Holland?
No.
So next up is obviously Toverland, which is just I love Toverland so much.
It's my new favorite park.
Is it?
It's just so pretty.
It's stunning, isn't it?
It looks amazing. It's not got these mega incredible rides. Do you know what I mean? But it's just beautiful and chilled and set out so well. There's so much to do in that little park, especially for kids. Because that first thing I said was like, my kids would absolutely love this because there's so much aside from the rides for them to do. But everything's just really pretty.
Yeah. It is. It's just like I remember walking into Avalon for the first time and being like, it's not like a massive area, but it feels big, doesn't it? Like it feels big, and it's just so nicely landscaped and just set out, and like, I mean, it's just, do you get what I mean now? That it's such a weird part because it's almost like a wacky warehouse, or like an indoor place, and then they've just added these coasters in the back of it, and then they've just because the original entrance used to be through that big warehouse thing, whatever you call it. And then the year we went, I think they added that new entrance like in 2018 or something like that. It was like pretty new still. But yeah, it's like it's like a kiddie park, but then you've got like Troy, which is just insane, and Phoenix, which is just so forceful. Like I'd only done Swarm before that in terms of it being a wing coaster, and I was just not anticipating how forceful Phoenix was going to be.
The back left was so intense. Vic blacked out.
I blacked out on that a few times. Wow. Yeah, I blacked out on Phoenix. I don't black out that much, but I blacked out on Phoenix. Well, I'd say I like grayed out. Like it wasn't like I didn't go fully out, but like I just, like, where your vision just goes a bit like grey basically, and then I was just like, I lifted my head up and I was like, it's just so much like positive G's on it, like you just like lift your head up and it feels really heavy. You're like, fuck, and then he did that.
Does it have the same issue as Swarm with the vest restraints, or
no?
Was that it was resolved on that one?
Because I was worried. Because I was like, oh no, please.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Swarm, but yeah, by the end of it, I'm just like, get me off.
Yeah. I don't have that problem. I've never had that problem on the Swarm. It's so weird. This is. I don't know. Joe can correct me, but I don't think Joe's even moaned about that. But yeah, it's just I did Phoenix, and I was like, God, can you imagine if Swarm was this? Like, how good would that be? Yeah, but they missed a trick with it there. But so did they have the dragon head still there? Dragon animatronic?
Yeah. Because I thought at first, because I've not really seen many POVs of it, I knew it had the dragon head. But then as you kind of turn around out of the station, it was just this big black empty warehouse. And I was worried that it had gone.
Yeah. It's
so it's just weird that they've got lovely station, random corridor of black nothingness, and then this lovely big dragon in the next room. And it's like, why have they not done anything with that middle bit?
I thought like when we did it, I was like, oh, maybe they kind of like ran out of budget, and then I was like, maybe they're going to add something to it. So it's weird. So yeah, it's weird that they've not added anything to it. They need to add like some like rock work in there, or
even if there was just like fairy light tunnel with some anything's better than what it is, because there's nothing.
It's just nothing with an epic dragon animatronic that blows smoke out at you. Like it's really strange. So anyway, let's backtrack a minute. So what was the first coaster you did?
First coaster we did was Maximus Blitzbahn.
Yeah.
If you call it a coaster, which I would. Yeah. Which was ace. Fuming because I didn't get a POV because my GoPro decided to have a fart and wouldn't walk on it, because we walked straight on pretty much because we thought we'd go there first. That was wicked. The whole indoor 2 areas was amazing because we did Choose Express, which is the best kiddie coaster I've ever ridden.
We missed it. It was closed when we were there. Yeah.
So good. And we did the dinghy slides, which you get absolutely soaked. Like, necessarily soaked. I went around the corner, and by the end, I was sat in like this much water in the boat. And the guy at the bottom was like, oh, yes, you do get wet. I was like, really? You know? The whole indoor area is wicked. And then we did the log flume, which was really big. I wasn't at the front. It's really steep.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Booster bike, which was my first booster bike coaster, and I hated it.
Do you not like it? Was it just really the way you were sat? Yeah.
So uncomfortable on my chest. Hated it. So that was a one and done. The rapids were fun, not a soaker. But the station was nice.
It's weird though, isn't it? Being in a rapid station that's not a what's it called, turntable. It's weird. Like when we did it, it's like, what the hell is this?
You go down like a little slide into the drop. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
That was fun, but it wasn't overly wet. It was just the splashes up the middle. What did we do after that? Oh, Whirlwind, beautiful.
So good, isn't it?
Yeah, like, the station was amazing. Good.
And the onboard audio, they have onboard audio still, yeah.
So loud as well, music.
I love that thing.
Then we did Phoenix. Troy was not open. I was getting anxious because it wasn't open all morning, and what was happening was they were doing a 24-hour world record attempt for riding it. So it was 12 till 12.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay.
So they've been running it all night?
All night.
Wow.
So on 2 trains as well, all night.
Yeah.
Then it stopped at 12 because that's the end of the thing. And then it got to about 1 and it still wasn't open. I was like, oh God, they've broke it.
Yeah.
Went up to the guy and he was like, yeah, we're just getting maintenance in just to check the trains over because they've been running for so long. Luckily, we went and got something to eat and about 2 o'clock it opened and we ran. But it was walk on all day. It was in the station pretty much all day.
But I bet that was warmed up nicely, though.
It was absolutely mental. My first ride was on the back row, and I shat my pants. It was unreal. And that's where my hip bruises came from.
Yeah.
Like, the bar sat on my hips, so I had 2 sets of bruises, which was great. But I think we rode that 8 times back to back.
Yeah.
And it just didn't get boring at all.
It's so
It
good.
was insane.
Like, did they get the world record?
Did they get the world record, you know?
Yeah, I think they did 367 rides.
Wow.
Well, they sent 367 trains. I think there was only about 10 people doing it.
Yeah.
So, like, they were getting on and off. So even if there was only 1 person on the train, it still counted because it was sending the trains with people on it. So they rotated, toilet breaks and all that lot. So, yeah. It was a lot.
It's not in the news. It's not in the news. That's weird, isn't it? I think it would be a news article.
I'm wondering if I took a photo. But it was fun.
No, I'm so glad because I big up Troy so much because it's a weird one because Toverland is such an easy park to miss for people because it's like it's kind of out the way of other parks and that, and people just look at it and go, wow. There's not on paper. There's not much there. Do you know what I mean? So it's. I'm just so glad you liked it because
the best Woody I've ever done by a mile,
hands down. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to go and do Woden now at Europa, because that's like on the same level, isn't it? Really, but I don't know if it have to be something special to do Troy because that's the thing. Like normally with Woody, like with Woden, people go, "Oh, I did like it," and then I got a night ride on it. I didn't get a night ride on Troy, and I flipping loved that the first time I did it. Like I was just like, "This is incredible!" Like it's not uncomfortable; it's just pure insanity, all the way around. And it's just like it's so weird because it's so intense, but I can keep doing it. Like I can just keep going and going and going and going.
Like, the best thing was as well, there was no one in the air gate. You could move seat.
Yeah,
because it was like it was in the station anyway, so we got off, and then if it was an empty seat, we just dived back on again. That's the best thing about it is the bloody theme song.
Yeah,
what a banger! What a banger! That's gone straight on my Spotify.
Yeah, it's so good because like Troy, I don't know if they've got a gate open, but when we went, Troy had the longest queue line. It was like it's like nearly on the level of Zadra in terms of how long it takes to get there. If you have to walk.
They had the gate open, so it was only like a minute.
Maybe that's all right then, because when we went, we had to walk all the way around the thing, and then they were just like, "No, you can just stay on." And they then let you do that with Phoenix as well.
Yeah,
and it was just like more parks need to do that.
It was so good. Like I said, there were 8 rides we did in about an hour.
Yeah,
it was lots of fun, but my thighs did not thank me for it.
That's it. Yeah, it's just weird because I remember doing that. I told you this before, but I remember doing Troy, and I don't the only like I remember going back to as soon as we got back from our trip, I went to Alton Towers, and even though Wicker Man's great, I think it's a good little ride for what it is. It just felt like nothing. It felt like it felt like absolutely nothing, and I was like, "Oh, has this ruined Wickham?" It eventually, it won me round again, and I was like, just saw it for what it was, you know what I mean? But it was just, I just never experienced that on like a woody before, on anything, to be honest. Like it's just pure insanity all the way around, and it made me like fall in love with like GCIs, to be fair.
Yeah, well, it's the first big GCI I'd ever done,
Yeah.
and I never knew about the station fly through either. That was wicked. Like.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. Because we did, to be fair, like in that trip we did Efteling, so we had done like George and Dragon, and so that blew me away because that was the first big, because it's not on the level of Troy, but it's still a big like big GCI. So that was like our taster, and that's incredible as well. That's really, really good, and the added drawlingness of it does work really well. Especially when you're passing each other and stuff. But then at Troy, it's just like when you get into the car park, isn't it? And you just see it, and you're like, Jesus Christ! And that's why I said when we was turning up to Plopsaland, and then Carl was just like pointing to Heidi and was like, "That's cool, isn't it?" And I was just like, "Yeah, but I'm thinking of Troy right now, and it's not the same, mate. It's not giving me the same impression when you get into the car park of Toverland and you just see that thing. You're like,
we literally like as we were driving up the road, and mine was like, on your right in a minute, and I was expecting to be able to see it, and I was like, where is it? And then just as you turn around the corner, I was like, oh. Like I sent the group that video because I was like, that's it.
Yeah, it's so good. But that it's just weird because that park, it's just like I say, it's a kiddie park, and it's got Troy and Phoenix, and I'm like, they are just intense rides. Did you do Merlin's Quest?
No. We it was well off for a start, so we were like, I'm not sitting about, and we just prioritized the last hour because we had to leave the park early to get to the airport.
Because you were going to the airport.
In the end, it didn't fucking matter, but we had to leave early, so we just prioritized the last hour to ride Troy, so we didn't do it.
For those that don't know, like Merlin's Quest is, for me, like so good because it's not like, I don't think you've like missed loads, but it's just got such a beautiful indoor section, like a really nice, like really well themed kind of journey through these caves. And it's really easy to miss because when you look at it, you're just like, oh, it's just like a little boat ride that goes around the lake, but then it goes in like underneath, I think it's like underneath underneath Phoenix Station, and you go around this like massive show building, and it's just like the smells and everything. Like I think me and Joe did it. I mean, because we was there for 2 days, we did it a lot, to be fair. We had that luxury, but it's such a good little ride. There we go. That 3-hour airport queue. Oh my god, I can't believe. I forgot about it. I forgot about that because that must have been hell being in that queue, that airport queue.
It was the way that it was like, oh, there we go. There's a 3-hour queue for security because we're only opening 2 gates. Straight through. Oh, your flight's cancelled. Like, we'll not tell you anything. Bye bye. That was it.
Sent you on your way.
Like, why didn't we stand in that massive queue? Why didn't you just tell us before?
That would have pissed me off so much. Like, that's the worst thing. I feel like that's almost the worst thing about it is like, you could have just been told that and you could just gone on your way rather than have to stand in a 3-hour queue. Yeah. Like, oh no way. No, I mean, when we went to Florida, we had to stand in we had to stand in the queue for when we landed. We got into border control. We had to stand in, I think it was an 1.5-hour queue. And that felt like a long time, especially because you've landed in Orlando and you're like, I want to go now, please. And then they're just like, and then you couldn't be on your phone. They were like, there's loads of things you can't be on your phone. And then like you get your phone out and someone tell you off and you're like, what we meant to do for an 1.5 hours? Like, it's insane. So I thought that was bad, but no. Yeah, at least if you're landing there, you've got something to look forward to. When you're going home, it's even worse. So no.
Yeah, so it took us 14 hours to get home we were started in Holland, then we went to Belgium, then we went to France, then from London all the way back up to Manchester. It was disgusting.
So what was it, a train or?
Yes, so we did a bus, a train, another train, a Eurostar, a tube, another train, and a drive.
Shit. Yeah.
delicious.
Still think you should have gone to Efteling.
Not have enjoyed that.
Actually, no, I say that. I'm glad you didn't go to Efteling because that is a 2-day park.
To be fair, the way that we all woke up on the Monday, I wouldn't have enjoyed it because we were all knackered. By the time we'd got in bed the night before, after all that travelling and standing about, we were just fucked. Like we wouldn't have enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, you need to experience Efteling because if you like Toverland is like very much inspired by Efteling, so it was really funny to go from Efteling to Toverland because it was kind of like a nice like shift into Walibi Holland, which is like so different. It's like not magical and stuff at all. It's kind of so it's like a nice little shift. But yeah, Efteling is like Toverland, but like turned up to like 10, where it's just beautiful. But I think for me, I think if you're going to do Efteling, it's good to do it in like a standalone trip, to like a 2-day trip.
Yeah,
and just like explore the whole place because it's huge. It's
there's
like
a lot to look at, isn't there, from what I've seen?
Yeah, it's not just like the rides, obviously. It's just like everything. It's like going through the fairy tale forest and just all the different stuff around. It's just so much stuff. You know what European parks are like. There's always something to do. And yeah, with Efteling is very much like that. So
Joe said play the train dog video.
Train dog video. Did I miss that? The train dog. I don't know what that is. Did I miss that? Is that on WhatsApp?
I posted WhatsApp before.
Oops. You know what I'm like in this group. I don't know anything.
It was about you as well, for God's sake.
I know. Well, you'd think Joe would be like, "Have you seen this video?" But she just is like,
"No,
no." I'll catch up on it. Oh no, I need to see this now. Was it posted ages ago?
We posted it at the time. Basically, there was a dog on the train, and I was like, "You've heard of the chain dogs? No, it's the train dog." And I was like,
shit. Oh no, I saw that video, but I wasn't playing audio on it when you was all just like that dog going up and down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that.
It was just a random dog, and he was just up and down the train.
That's literally what you need to like give your life in it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was when you was coming back from the airport, weren't it?
That was Eindhoven to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
For like an hour and 50 minutes on the train.
Yeah. Are you still planning on doing your Efteling trip, do you think?
In August, hopefully. We might do a day because it's like 10 p.m. close.
Yeah, to be fair, that's probably all you need. Because we did the 10 p.m. close one. And if you get there like bang when it opens, like you'll get a lot in.
Yeah, we just thought because it's free in it on the Pleasure Beach thing, so we could squeeze it all into one day to make the trip a bit cheaper.
I don't know, man.
I shall not be flying with Ryanair.
The thing is, right, me and Joe was having this discussion about Ryanair, and I'm like, who else would you go with? Like, because I wouldn't go with a UK. The UK based ones are the ones that, the UK based ones like EasyJet, TUI, British Air. They're the ones that are cancelling everything at the minute.
Yeah,
Ryanair is pretty like obviously you don't get much support if something goes wrong, but the likelihood of them cancelling the flight is a lot less than the other ones. So I just don't know who I'd go with, and then I don't know. Obviously, I haven't had
the cost of Ryanair flights as well.
That's the thing, man. Like
sometimes it's cheap.
Sometimes
my tickets to Germany were 30 quid.
Yeah, we paid 30 quid.
So it's like
that's the thing. Like it's kind of
like
16
quid when we went to Belgium, didn't we? £16 return.
Yeah.
Belgium and back.
£15 to Poland as well. We paid. It's like I said this to Joe. I was like, obviously, when you're flying cheap, there is always this possibility of this stuff happening, but it's like it's almost worth the risk to be like, if it, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, we've all done so many trips this year. Like, one of us was going to get stung at some point. Like, it's just what's going to happen?
I think it wouldn't have been so bad if we'd like stayed over and flew home the next morning. But it was the fact that there was like zero option from Eindhoven Airport until next Tuesday.
That was the strikes or something, wasn't it? Or
there's farmers' protest about emissions, so they were blocking all airports, ports, all of it. So there was just no joy because we checked the flights that were fully booked for the next day, and they didn't go out.
See, it's just like the biggest nightmare. It's like when we went to this wasn't so bad, but when we went to Barcelona last year, and we was at IAPA for like a few days, and then we tried to get from Barcelona to Salou to go there, and like we researched it all. It was like, yeah, easy, just like a 40-minute train or something. The day we get to the airport, the train station to get the train to Salou, and the train would have taken us 10 minutes away from Ventura. It's like really well connected. We get there and no trains are like running, and then there's like newscasters outside and everything, and like TV cameras everywhere, and we're like, what the hell is going on? And then someone tells us like, oh yeah, this train strikes for like the next 2 weeks. And we're like, okay, right, look it all up. There's no buses going there. Look at a taxi, it's going to cost us 150 quid to get there if we went for a taxi. And we were just like, and this is a great thing about being an enthusiast, right? And me and Jack were talking about this the other weekend, right? Is that because whatever trip you've done, you're doing, someone else has done it. So like you can go on Twitter and go, okay, this is happening. And then someone will go, oh, try this. And that's what happened to us. I was like, okay, we're stuck here. Scott from Pleasure Beach Experience messaged me and was just like, go back to the airport. He was like, well, go back to the airport. We'd been there like 4 days, but he was like, go to the airport, and there's a bus that goes straight to your hotel for like 10 euros or something. And I was like, magic. And we did it and it worked. And it was like 4 hours of just stressing, and suddenly it was like, oh, okay, that's all we had to do. So that's the great thing about it, really, isn't it? Is like you can always, ever stuck in a pinch, you put something out on Twitter or something, or Facebook or something, and someone will help you out. So that ended well. I just couldn't believe it, because we went from being like, okay, how we're gonna have to spend 150 quid to get to Ventura, to, oh no, that bus literally goes straight from the airport. It's like an hour and a half bus journey to the front of our hotel at Western Camp, not Western Camp, Hotel Gold River. And we were like, that was mad. And then it picked us up as well. Yeah. So all good.
So apart from that, it was a really good weekend.
I'm glad
we did think like, oh, we're getting some compensation, so let's plan our next trip.
Yeah. So will the compensation cover like your travel home that you had to get? Would that?
So it's two separate things. So we get reimbursed for accommodation, travel, and how we got home. So 500 minutes of transport, and then separately you claim a compensation for the cancelled flight.
Okay, right. Yeah, so it'll pretty much cover it then, won't it? So then there you go.
Well, it'll cover the weekend twice. So
yeah.
Every cloud.
That'd be sick.
I saw something ridiculous the other day of, I think it was a Delta flight. And they had to bump 7 people off the flight because of I can't remember, I think it was like weight issues or something. And they were offering 10 grand per passenger.
So they're saying if you get off now, you get 10 grand.
We'll give you 10 grand compensation because the next flight wasn't for another day or 2 or something.
Wow.
But 10 grand. Yeah. I was like,
I'd be off straight away.
My flight got cancelled. I need a couple extra days. 10 grand for it.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's insane.
That rarely happens. It's usually like 300 quid they'll offer. But
I guess it's how much it's worth to the airline, isn't it? They're like, if we're late, we miss our like.
If they miss their slot, they pay about probably 100 grand in airport fees.
Exactly.
Stuff,
it's so expensive. Yeah. Mad. All right. Cool. Anyway, we're done. I think I can't believe we've gone for like nearly 2 hours. That's mad. So is there anything you want to plug while you're here, Emma?
I shall plug my channel, Top Thrill Tourists, who I star in with Carl. Carl's got a big mouth, but currently putting out vlogs from his America road trip. So if you want to see them, might slot some of mine in if people get fed up with his face like halfway through. But we do normally vlog together, but you wouldn't think so looking at the channel at the moment.
No, it's great. I love it. Yeah, like you guys, you started up before us, but you were kind of like still newish when we started. So
yeah, it wasn't very long before you.
No, so we kind of like was watching all your stuff. And yeah, it's mad that like we just go on coast trips and stuff now. So good. I love it. So yeah, definitely go and check it out. It's so different to I think anyone else is doing, which is like key because there's obviously so many vloggers out there. But yeah, definitely go check it out. It's good fun when Carl's not filming the floor, but yeah. We don't talk about that though, do we? But no, thanks for everyone in the chat. It's been really, really good. We had like constant 30 viewers today, which is pretty good. I was dropped off in the last half an hour because everyone's going to bed probably, but yeah, really, really good one. So yeah, thanks again, Emma, for coming on.
No worries, thanks for having me.
No worries. We'll be back next week at 8 p.m. Hopefully, I'm hoping that Luke will be on to talk about all things Orlando, which is going to be brilliant because me and Joe go there not too long. So it'd be really good to. Yes, exactly. So yeah, can't wait. But yeah, thanks everyone. Cheers. See you next week. Bye bye.
Adios.
Bye.